and I don't remember if I mentioned this and the first time I watched this, doesn't really matter, but props to the details that REN presents here, because as I said earlier on, I think REN, it's pretty obvious that REN is an advocate for truth. And I think songs like this that he presents, especially lyrically, he is trying to present the truth. And he talks about that during the song. So the details of what's real and what's not here, I think is really clever. And one thing I do want to point out, though, is like when we get to this point right here, I'm going to show you this little piece right here, and then I'm going to ask you a question. So he approaches the table, takes off his coat, picks up the gun, removes the magazine, sets down the gun. He's going to pick up the magazine. He starts grabbing the rounds off the table and filling the magazine, okay?
As if it to always be sheep.
He picks up the gun again.
The hood if there's more money for me.
Puts the magazine in the gun.
Then there's no future I see where the humans
now,
survive.
right here.
Then there's no future I see where the
This is not an emergency yet. Does anybody know why? Think about us as the viewer. He's pointing the gun at us. He already put the magazine into the gun. We saw him put rounds into the magazine. Boom. And then he starts pointing it at us. Why should we not panic yet? Could be the safety. Yep. Aaron kind of hit it on the head right there. The gun is not loaded yet. It's not chambered. Right? So there are rounds in the magazine, but that one round that goes into the chamber that actually makes the gun loaded has not been done yet. So this is more of a visual buildup than anything. It's not until he sits down, the rain starts, and then he cocks the gun and actually loads it. That is the next step of tension that we have provided. And that's what I mean by details.
.45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants. He is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate.
Right there. That's the moment.
With a 45.
And then it becomes real. Because honestly, if he had done this right here without doing
and fame, he's a fortunate
this
fool
rack
with an unfortunate fate. With a 45,
it would be null and void. Now, I say that with only, and I'm going to say 50% certainty, 50%. Because if we go back, this point right here, okay. He approaches the table.
Feel the tension. It leads to people killing each other.
We know there's a magazine in that gun. Do we know if there is a round in the chamber? Do we know? Do we have any idea? We don't. We see him pick up the gun. He removes the magazine. If there is a round in the chamber and that magazine comes out, it's still there. Which is why if you take that gun and you pick it up and it has a round in the chamber ready to go, you pull the magazine out, most guns, boom, will still shoot that one round that's in the chamber. I've actually seen people, and I'm talking professionals, pull out the magazine and then press the trigger like the gun's empty. The gun's not empty. You still have to clear the chamber, right? So yeah, you have to know what you're doing and respect these weapons. It has to be done. The gun's not going to do it for you. It's not going to save you from being ignorant. You have to be responsible for it. So that's why I say, even to this point where he sits down, he racks the gun. If he had not racked the gun and put it to his head, I'm only 50% certain that that gun is loaded or not. And actually it's 0% because I don't know. I don't know the status of this gun when it's here. Just because it's sitting on the table doesn't mean that it's safe. Just because you pull the magazine out doesn't mean it's safe. It's not until you remove the source of ammunition, you give that slide a couple racks, you lock it back to the rear, and then you physically look into the chamber, nothing in there. I always say, look at it, chamber's clear. Look down the magazine well, no magazine in the gun. Look away, and then get a whole fresh look again. Chamber's clear, magazine well is clear. This gun is 100% clear. Now, if you set that gun down and then leave the room and you come back, you better go through that whole damn process again, because you do not know what has changed in the status of that gun since you left eyes from it. Has to happen. So all of that tangent to say, this detail of REN picking up the gun, loading the magazine, tension build, slightly rises. Now first, the gun showing up in the scene, that's an uptick. He pulls the magazine out, puts rounds into it, another uptick. Puts it into the gun. Okay, now he's pointing it at us. It's starting to rise. The temperature is starting to rise. And then once he sits down and he racks that gun, we jump up 5 steps. He throws it to his head and we know it's loaded. 10 more steps. It's brilliant. It's such a perfect detail that even if you're not, as Moist said in the chat, if you're not gun savvy, you still understand that things are escalating. And being able to put your art together that way, in a way that can speak through this massive spectrum of people that are watching, is a gift that REN has and he uses very well. Yeah. The details that he presents are just one of the ways that he presents truth as an artist that should be appreciated.